once more up in the bush. Took the smaller machine up this time, off he goes into the wild blue yonder, off to greener pastures no doubt. Beautiful, it's clear, it's calm, it's a bit cold. There's a heap more deer sign out in the clearings and the beaches again, so hopefully I might be able to shoot another deer. Wouldn't that be nice? The snow level's pretty low. It's down the top of those hills over there. At the moment I'm working on the south bank of the river, so the bush should be fairly dry. I've had a couple of really windy days that prevented me coming up, and at the end of this week I'll move my lines to the other side of the river. I expect the bush is going to be nice and wet and damp over there, so that'll be fun. But the sun's going down, I'll have to light the fire. My tent got a little bit of a hiding during that storm. The fly blew off the top, the tent's all good, still up. Can handle the jandle, that one. Alright, this is another video of my possum plucking exploits to show my friends and family, give them an idea of what I do. This is generally how my day starts. It's usually a bit darker than this. I slept in today because it's day one. I don't have any possums to pluck or skin. I'm just going out and rebaiting the traps and resetting them, so that's only going to take me half the day, and I'll probably go for a bush hunt this afternoon to see if I can knock over a deer or two. They're probably right up high, somewhere about the level of the top of that hill, so I'm going to climb right up behind me to those hills and hopefully shoot a deer. My tent is a pigsty because I've had a wee bit of a mice infestation while I've been away. I caught 2 in the traps, and then there's obviously more than 2 mice here because the little bastards have been chewing whatever they can chew. So I'm going to make a homemade bucket trap with a bottle this afternoon, and also maybe try to do a little bit of poisoning with some arsenic, and hopefully I can kill the little bastards so they stop eating my flour and God knows what else. So this is the idea: bottle, cheese, bucket of water or a kettle of water. Put the bottle on the edge of the bucket, give the mice somewhere to walk onto the bottle. They walk up, walk out in the bottle, slip on the neck, end up in the bucket. You may have to adjust the angle of the bottle. So this is my tent setup. It's pretty cold and frosty here at the moment. There's a bit of a hoarfrost on the other side of the river that looks like it's been there for about 5 days. So it's a bit nippy. But anyway, I've had breakfast, I've had a cup of tea, I've got my flour in bottles, I've made the mix. I'm about to whack my backpack together and go for a walk and open my trap line. So why don't you join me today, and I'll walk you through the various steps of possum trapping in the bush. Oh, fur plucking, possum plucking, because I do love to pluck possums some days. I thought I'd give you guys a tour of my humble abode. So this is the lodgings right here, the old tent, and panning around. This is my backyard, my own private golf course. It doesn't actually have any greens on it yet, but I'm working on that. Come summer I should have a nice little green right down the end there somewhere, so I can have a game of whack fuck when I get back home in the evenings. Down to the front lawn now. It's a pretty small front lawn by all means. We do have a river though, and across the river there is another lawn across there. Luckily we've got plenty of deer up here to help mow the lawns, so we'll come on in here. Oh, this is that's the workshop, I like to call it. Chopping block, axe, big knife, Svord knives. These guys make awesome knives. I'm actually going to do a bit of a review for Svord on their knives in the near future. That is the Von Templar bowing knife. It's a mean knife. Coming in here, we have the kitchen. That is my water supply. Unfortunately, I have to refill it every couple of days or so. The plumbing freezes in the winter here, which is a downside of living in the woods. There's the kitchen right there. Did I already say kitchen? I think I did. There's the kitchen. This is the armory and the fridge over here. Here is one pantry for my fruit, and coming into the tent now, I'll just give you a little while for it to adjust. Here is my tent. This is the chimney and the firebox. Billy on the boil, I just lit it, and we have our funny fungus things drying out by the fire here. The wood pile, the wood shed. We have utility shelves here with all sorts of handy crap in it, like an awl. Never leave home without your awl. My grandma's pepper grinder, believe it or not. This is my inheritance from my grandmother. It's been all over the country in all sorts of wonderful places. Thanks Mum for giving me this. I practically had to steal it off my mother because she was so attached to it. But I've got it now, it's mine. Thanks Grandma, thanks Mum. And behind us here we have the larder. It's not very well stocked at the moment, but we do have the essential Pam spaghetti, big roll of paper bags, all sorts of wonderful other stuff. Don't leave home without this stuff either. The odorless fish oil, 1500 milligrams, omega-3 high potency. It's a wild source. This is really good for your joints. And coming into the lounge, we have the ensuite bedroom right here. This is my luxurious bed, big old cot stretcher, bit of an air mattress thing to keep me insulated, and within handy reach of that I have a satellite phone for those all important business conference calls that I like to make every now and then. And last but not least, the fireplace. Isn't that marvellous? Look at that. Cranking. So that's my tent. Hopefully it was light enough in here for you to see that. I might actually repeat the tour tomorrow. We also have lighting. These lights are fantastic. They're LED lights, base camp from Kathmandu, and this has lasted me about 3 weeks so far. It runs on 3D size batteries. They're really awesome. They come like this, and you can also click into a lantern that just screws on the top. I'm just going to explain a bit about my tent and how the chimney works. So this is silicone here with a silicone ring. It's called a stove jack, and the chimney just pokes out the middle of that. As you can see, I've got another fly on the back side of the tent, just because when it gets really cold and frosty, the condensation inside the tent comes up on the roof. But if I've got a fly covering it, then there's no condensation, and the roof stays nice and dry on the inside as well, which is good. If it's warm weather or pissing down with rain, it doesn't matter. This tent's 100% waterproof. It really is a fantastic piece of equipment. I've got a wee fly here. I'm actually going to get a bigger tent with a fly that comes all the way out, so the fly comes with the tent, so it covers the tent, has a stove jack in it, and comes out to provide a kitchen area. This tent's great for one person, but my kids are going to be big enough soon that they'll be coming up here and working for me, working with me, working for me. Slaves, free slavery. And I will need a bigger tent to accommodate us all. So what happens is the possum's cruising along, just having a good old day, and he stops when he sees that flower on the tree, and he goes up, and he's quite interested in this stuff, so he comes up and has a look at it, and he has a little sniff on that, and then next thing you know, he stands in the trap. There we go, stands in the trap, gets his leg, and he freaks out for a little bit, and then he just ends up just curling up and go and have a good old sleep there. Whew, top of the morning to you. So this is day 2. We've had day 1, and day 1 setting the traps. Day 2 is coming and checking the traps. And if we look here, a marvellous specimen of a male possum, and he's just torn a big chunk of fur off his skin, so his skin's going to be no good. Bit of a bugger. Now comes the fun bit of trying to catch the possum without getting scratched or bitten. So they're pretty feisty little buggers, so the trick is to grab the tail without them getting hold of you. If you can see, if they can bite you, they'll have a jolly good crack at it. Let's have another good. So I'm going to put the camera down now. I won't subject my viewers to the sight of me giving the possum a little pat on his head with my whispering stick, and I will catch up with you later on in the day. Tally-ho! Here's another hint for the possum trappers watching my show. It is never a good idea to lay the possum on his back and squat over him while resetting the trap, because they've got a nasty habit of kicking out with their back legs, and they have massive long claws that can scratch you in places you really don't want to be scratched by long claws. I just discovered this. Hopefully my bum hole is okay. It does have a rather big scratch running down the length of my kazifit
because if it wasn't there, your guts would fall out. I think that's what most people call it, a kazifit. I'm not sure of the scientific term for it. I might look that up on the internet too, actually.
Another part of my day, it's getting towards evening now, is chopping wood for the night. I can usually chop a bit of wood and have enough for 2 nights, but tonight I need to sharpen my saw as well. It's gone a little bit blunt. I haven't sharpened it in quite a few months, so I've got a wee small file here, and I'm going to put a nice distant sharpen. I don't know if you'd say that. Would you say distant sharpen? Anyway, I'm going to sharpen the bloody thing so it cuts wood better. Some more bushcraft for you. I'm going to show you how to make fire lighters out of one of these funny fungus things, and some wood ash and some water and a bit of kerosene or diesel. So first of all, you need one of these funny fungus things. I'm not too sure what they're called, but the puffier and the more bulbous it is, the better, because what we're after, you see there's 2 different layers in here, one puffy layer and one stringy layer. We want that real puffy stuff. Now that we've chopped our funny fungus thing up, I'm actually going to look on the internet and find out what this funny fungus thing is called, so I can let you people know its scientific name. We've got to dry it out. You can dry it in the sun and by the fire, or just by the fire, or just in the sun, but I'm going to do both. So I'm going to start off putting it around the fire, my tent.